Right now, fire does exactly what you ask. You turn a knob, press a button, flick a lighter, and a flame appears in less than a second. It heats your room. It cooks your food. It sits quietly under a pan like it belongs there. But for millions of years, fire belonged to no one. It came from lightning. It tore through dry grass. It climbed trees, filled the sky with smoke, and made every animal run. Antelopes ran, leopards ran, birds escaped from burning branches, and your ancestors ran too. Fire was not a tool, it was a monster. So how did ancient humans go from running away from fire to carrying it, feeding it, sleeping beside it, and eventually making it with their own hands? The answer probably did not begin with someone rubbing two sticks together. It probably began after the fire was already gone. When a wildfire passed through a landscape, most animals avoided the burned ground. It was hot, smoky, dangerous, and strange. But early humans were hungry, curious, and willing to take risks. So they came back. And in the ashes, they found something new. Dead animals caught by the flames, roots softened by heat, seeds cracked open, meat that was no longer raw, cold, and hard to chew. It was warm, softer, easier to pull apart. It smelled different. For an ancient human, that mattered. Raw food took time and effort. Raw meat had to be ripped, chewed, and fought with. Tough plants resisted the mouth and stomach. But burned food was different. Fire had already done part of the work. It softened the food before it entered the body. It turned a terrifying place into something unexpected. A feast. That may have been the first step toward controlling fire. Not genius first. Hunger first. Humans did not look at fire and immediately see technology. They may have looked at the ashes and seen food. And once fire became useful, the next question appeared. Could they bring it closer? A wildfire was too large to control. But a glowing branch was small. A coal hidden under ash was small. A burning stick from a lightning-struck tree could be carried. Before humans could create fire, they probably stole it from nature. They waited for lightning, dry season fires, volcanic heat, or burning trees. Then they took embers back to camp and tried to keep them alive. That was the hard part. Fire is not like a stone tool. You cannot put it down and come back later. Fire has to be fed. It has to breathe. It has to be protected from rain, wind, and neglect. Too much fuel, and it escapes. Too little fuel, and it dies. A single ember may have been one of the most valuable things a group owned. If it survived, they had warmth, light, protection, and cooked food. If it died, they were back in the dark, waiting for the sky to strike a tree again. So someone had to watch it. Someone had to gather dry wood. Someone had to learn which materials burned fast, which ones lasted, and which ones only made smoke. Dry grass gave flame. A thick log gave time. Ash could hide a living coal. A gentle breath could wake it up. That must have felt like magic. A fire looked dead. Then someone blew on a tiny red spot, added dry fibers, and suddenly the flame returned. To us, that is heat and oxygen. To them, it may have looked like resurrection. For a long time, humans may have lived in this strange middle stage. They could use fire, carry fire, protect fire, and cook with fire, but they could not always make it whenever they wanted. Fire was useful, but it was not fully theirs. Then, slowly, observation became technique. Someone making stone tools noticed sparks. Certain rocks, when struck together, made tiny flashes of heat. Most sparks vanished immediately, but sometimes one landed on dry grass, bark dust, or plant fiber. And a small red point appeared. That red point was not fire yet. It was a chance. You had to protect it, feed it, blow gently, add tinder, give it just enough air. Then came smoke. Then a tiny flame. Another method came from wood. Rubbing wood together sounds simple, but it is not. The goal is not to make sticks burst into flames. The goal is to create hot dust. With the right wood, pressure, speed, and patience, that dust becomes a coal. The coal goes into dry tinder. Breath turns it into flame. Think about how strange that is. Humans learned to make fire from stone, dust, friction, and breath. That was the great shift. Before this, Fire belonged to storms, volcanoes, and accidents. After this, fire could come from human hands. And once humans controlled fire, fire began changing humans in return. Food changed first. Cooked food gave the body more energy with less effort. Meat became softer. Roots became easier to eat. Tough plants became less punishing. Fire became like an extra stomach outside the body. Then fire changed the night. Before fire, darkness belonged to predators. Humans had no claws, no fangs, and poor night vision. When the sun disappeared, the world became dangerous. But a campfire made a circle of safety. Inside the circle, humans could see. Outside the circle, animals hesitated. Flames moved unpredictably. Smoke stung. Heat warned everything to stay away. For the first time, humans could sit on the ground after dark and not simply wait for morning. That changed the group. The day was for survival. Hunting, gathering, walking, carrying, watching. But night around the fire was different. There was warmth. There was light. There were faces. There was time. People could share food, repair tools, warn children, imitate animals, remember the dead, and tell stories about places beyond the hills. The campfire did not only cook food, it gave humans extra hours to become human. Fire also let people move into places their bodies were not built for. Cold lands, dark caves, freezing nights, ice age landscapes. Fire was portable warmth. A small sun carried from camp to camp. So how did ancient humans learn to control fire? Not in one brilliant moment. First, they ran from it. Then they returned to the ashes. Then they noticed what it did to food. Then they carried embers. Then they protected them. Then they learned what fire liked, what killed it, and how to wake it back up. And after countless burns, storms, failures, dead coals, and tiny observations, someone made a spark survive. That was the moment fire stopped being only something nature did to humans. It became something humans could do back. A spear does not breathe. A stone does not eat. A wheel does not die if you forget to feed it. But fire does. Before fire, humans waited for warmth, light, and safety to come from the world. After fire, they carried a piece of the sun in their hands.